Live from New York. It is the CC Radio Network presenting the Coffee Club. Ready, Rocky?
You're the manager. You're the boss.
Live
from New York.
It's
second time around.
It's Felix
and Dr. Mark getting his second wind.
Always gets the second wind when the microphone.
As soon as that mic lights up, boy, I'm a different person. I was falling asleep here, folks. I kept telling Felix, "No more. I'm going home.
No more. Enough."
I made enough of a fool of myself already today. Well, the dogs were barking and everything.
Well, what dogs?
You see? Did you forget to feed the dog?
I thought you fed him.
Well, you know, he sounds angry, and I don't want to go out and bring him in because I think he's going to think that my hand is dinner.
Your hand is dinner. I forgot to buy him food today. But anyway, it's nice to be here. Nice to be on the air, ladies and gentlemen. We feel like we're back at home, just relaxing, talking a little bit of a breeze.
You mean I don't live here?
Do I?
You do, but
I do. How do I leave?
Your couch looks so inviting every time I leave.
I live in a broadcast studio. I don't understand it. How could that be?
You wanted to be alone. You're certainly alone.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. Starting Monday, as you probably know, we broadcast Monday and Fridays at 9 p.m. We will have a new call-in number, and if you got a pencil pen, please write this down.
I will tell you because Felix has a problem with numbers. 646-595-3275.
And we also have a new way of listening to our show. All you have to do is go on the webpage, type in www.ccradionetwork.com. When the website comes on, just press listen now, and voila, you've got us. Live.
I hope somebody's got us because I feel like I'm falling.
Oh, we're falling, all right. We're falling, but anyway.
I can imagine whose arms I want to fall into.
But yeah, well, before I forget, you cannot call in this number today because you will not get us.
That's true. This is only a listening show tonight.
Yeah, that's true. And I want to remind some of the people about our coffee party.
We are the Coffee Party Club Network. We have a nice setup here where you can come in and enjoy a cup of joe and croissant, bagel, whatever your heart desires. Meet some nice people. We have Wi-Fi. What else?
Sounds good. Where is it? I want to go.
You know,
I was just thinking, actually what I meant to say is the coffee party. We are the originators of the coffee party.
Yes, we are.
The coffee party is a grassroots movement. And the only thing we promote is that the people have the power to make the change. We are the only ones that can make the change. Just remember that. We are the change.
You should see Felix, ladies and gentlemen. It's like he's directing Jean-Philippe Sousa's marching band.
Absolutely. You got me moving my hands. Oh, people have my fist is up. People have the power. Power to the
Remember,
people.
we want you to be the change that you would like to see.
We don't want to see you doing anything radical. We're not asking you to change the party you belong in. We're not asking anything except for one thing. Vote when it's time to vote. Vote with your heart. Vote with your mind.
And I know how some of you are going to vote out there. Some of you new listeners for the first time. Maybe we can change that, but somehow I don't think so. But last week Monday, we were talking about Duck Dynasty, and Phil Robertson, unfortunately giving him more airtime than he really needs. And now I find out today
guy's
that
got enough money into this.
A&E already lifted his ban. That was some suspension, right?
Well,
because
that's just to get
everything's money.
All he needs is a little more publicity. His ratings will go down a little bit properly.
Of course.
Probably.
But the thing is, I wanted to say that I listened to Sarah Palin on Greta Van Sustern's show last night, and she's one of the better people, more or less on Fox. She and Chris Wallace, who are to the right of center, but not all the way to the extreme right. And she was questioning Sarah Palin, and she said, if you read the GQ article, she said Phil Robertson did say a lot of inflammatory things, rather graphic, that have no business being said on the air. And then she placed this query to Sarah Palin. She said, you did read the article. And right away, all that was going through my mind was Katie Couric asking her, what magazines do you read? And she was going, homina, homina, homina. Well, Sarah Palin said she didn't read it. Well, how can you comment on something that you haven't read? All right? And then, to add insult to injury...
Maybe she heard it on the air.
What was she saying? She was saying, well, he was only spouting and preaching gospel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me set you straight. I know a little bit about the Bible, old and new, okay? The New Testament are the Gospels. Jesus never said anything about homosexuality, okay? Love thy neighbor, okay? Never said anything about homosexuality. In the Old Testament, which is Scripture, in Scripture it says, which is what he was quoting. It talks about a man spilling his seed on the ground, a man lying with a man, but that's Scripture. That's the Old Testament, okay? Sarah Palin, just every time she opens her mouth, she's just proving and showing what a fool she is.
Well, she is fun looking at, though. When I listen to her interviews, I just shut off the volume and I just watch her for a few seconds. And then I realize what I'm watching and who it really is, and I turn it off. She is a woman who is definitely not well spoken.
No, it's not that she's not well spoken, which is true, but she just doesn't know what she's saying. She doesn't give any thought before she opens her mouth. Mm-hmm. She just says what's on her mind. Okay, forget about it being inflammatory. The Republican Party is full of people who just spout garbage and talk about, Louis Gohmert, for one, in Texas. This guy's a real winner. I think he was abducted by aliens as a child, But
was he?
Well, I don't know. It would be an insult to the aliens, that's for sure.
Unless they drained his
But then
brain
again,
out.
He's from Texas. What do you expect, right?
Well, listen, the Lone Star State.
But that's all I wanted to say about Sarah Palin. But the bulk of the show, really, we want to get back to interfaith marriage, okay?
And interracial marriage also.
And I've always said that...
and single-sex marriages.
Oh, you mean...
homosexual marriages, yeah.
Oh, but of course. Look...
Doesn't single-sex marriage sound better than homosexual marriage?
Well, it's the same thing.
I know, but it sounds better.
Why?
I have no idea. Because I said so. I don't know.
It's just a union between union between two people who love each other.
And that's the end of it.
You know,
And just remember,
it's a marriage.
just remember, people who are homosexuals, they don't choose it to be. That's the way they were born. Just like you were born a heterosexual or homosexual. It's just the way you are. They can't help it.
Yeah, you were born weird,
I was born weird. Just can't. Hey,
You can't help that,
can't help
Just
it.
can't help that.
No, I've been involved with quite a few interfaith marriages. My parents were interfaith marriage. I'm involved in one, and happily for many years. My daughter's having an interfaith marriage. My son is dating a girl of a different faith. My
in-laws?
All my in-laws married outside their own religion. So we're all that way, and it's just like Mark once said a few weeks ago, I should say.
A few years. We haven't been on the air that long.
Last week. I think he said last week.
Yes, and I forgot to say my daughter.
And your daughter.
My daughter as well.
As your daughter as well. So we're all involved in this type of...
And my ex.
And your ex, she was not Jewish?
No, she's Jewish. Her husband is not.
Oh. Now, let me ask you, has anybody commented how the quality of the show is today yet?
No comments yet, so I don't know.
No.
But then again, let's face it, no one's calling in. The only time we have a problem here is when somebody calls up. So I expect that, everything is going to be fine.
The only problem with that I see, Mark, is without the call-ins, our shows are going to be rather much shorter.
Well,
obviously.
I can certainly attest to that. In the past, take Monday's show. I was ready to call it quits at 37 minutes, and then all of a sudden, one of our regulars called up, and he went on for 55 minutes.
Yeah, that was Dan the man.
Oh, and I have nothing against that. That's fine. And Dan covered many topics because, as I like to say, you
call a show about nothing. We should call a show about everything and anything.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I always like to call it the show about nothing, and my sister was the first one. My sister Tina was the first one to say, how can you say that? The show is always about something. And basically it's about what the callers want to discuss.
If there are no callers, that's what we decide to discuss.
Or if somebody emails us and says, well, how about discussing this topic or that topic? If we could talk about it without making too much of a fool of ourselves. I mean, we do have a certain amount of decorum that we must set here,
That's true. Now, I just want to talk about all this interfaith, intermarriage, homosexual. We can bundle them all up with our mayor-elect, Mr. de Blasio. He is married to a black woman. He's married to a woman who was formerly, she says, a lesbian, a reformed lesbian, and I assume they're both Christians, and their kids are, mixed. They're mixed, and it seems like the daughter has some...
it just came out this week in the paper. She had drug and alcohol problems. She went into rehab, tried to get herself straightened out. You know how that works. We only hope that things work out for them, but it just goes to show you that it could happen in any family.
In any family. And my other comment is, I don't understand how a homosexual could change to a heterosexual. It doesn't compute in my mind. A heterosexual, it's a biological thing. You're born that way. Homosexual, you're born that way. How can you biologically have a change? I don't know.
It's like trying to, as Michelle Bachmann's husband Marcus was trying, pray the gay away. You just can't do that,
Yes,
I mean, let's face it. the way society is structured, I mean, it's only now starting to change. But originally, 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, the way society was structured, who would choose to be gay or lesbian of their own accord, knowing what they would have to put up with as far as prejudice is concerned?
Nobody would.
Of course not.
So, it's
and that's
not...
why so many of them married and tried to maintain a cover, okay, until they just realized that, what am I doing this for? I'm not happy. This is not who I am.
And some of them kept it all their lives. One of our famous actors, who's a Cary Grant, I believe.
No. It was Rock Hudson.
Rock Hudson, that's correct.
Rock Hudson put a face to the disease of AIDS. Okay, when he came out and said that he had contracted AIDS and he was dying of AIDS, okay, he was the first one to put a face on it.
Yeah. He's a nice-looking gentleman, always played a heterosexual in the movies.
His agent and the studios said that he has to get married and he has to put up this front. Another one was Cole Porter, the great composer and lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Porter was married. His wife knew that he was bisexual. He loved his wife. He loved engaging in relations with her. But he always had men on the side, okay? I mean, and it was a known thing throughout Hollywood. And I'm sure there were many actors and or actresses that maybe are first coming out now. Now that they're dead, the truth is coming out. But for whatever reason, they just they were on the down low.
That's true. And we're going to have to take a little sightseeing tour. Is anybody around here that's in the audience who's from St. Thomas? Let's see, Guam,
Barbados,
and Europe.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, yeah, it's fine.
It's still part of the country. You got to be flown somewhere.
Yeah, Puerto Rico
well, why don't you tell them
Hawaii.
why you're saying this, Felix?
As if some of you may know or may not know, I'm also a minister of the esoteric faith, and I perform weddings for heterosexuals as well as gays. And anybody in those areas that would like me to perform a wedding for them, I will be glad to. And just
you know what you sound like? You sound like Wimpy on Popeye. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. You got your hand out.
Let me get my commercial over with. So I'm getting some free airtime. So anyway, if anybody would like to have me perform your wedding in one of your beautiful islands, resorts, or anywhere else that's warm and nice with a nice beach, I'll be glad to do it. I will charge you nothing except for the airfare and hotel stay for myself and my wife for 7 days. And I will perform the wedding for free.
Well, suppose they say they'll pay for you, but you have to pay for your wife.
I'll say, find yourself a minister where you are. You will not get I will even
can't
do better.
Can't always get everything you want.
Absolutely, but I'll do even better, Mark. I will perform the wedding on the air. That means you and your wife now have to come down with us too. So I just changed the deal, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to pay for 4 people, round trip, including hotel for 7 days, and then I will perform the ceremony, and Mark will be there to co-host.
I will be your event planner,
and you will be the narrator of the wedding.
That's true.
Okay, so this is the deal. If anybody's interested, okay. That's the end of that one. Okay. Oh, I don't know if we are also observers of another. When we don't belong to it, we sort of observe another interesting religion. And Mark, you might be aware of it. It's called
Dudes.
Judaism, and I just want you to know if anybody wants to know this, and this is their theme song.
The faucet, she is dripping and the fence, she's fallen down. My father needs some money so I can go into town. My brother is working and my sister doesn't care. Because she needs a motor so I can go anywhere. Mañana, mañana, mañana is soon enough for me. My
Isn't that
brother
Carmen
took his
Miranda?
suitcase and he went away to school.
This is not
My
copyrighted.
father said he only learned to be a silly fool. My father said that I should learn to make a chili pot. But then I burned the house down, the chili was too hot. Mañana, mañana, mañana is good enough for me. The window sheet is broken and the rain is coming in. If someone doesn't fix it, I'll be soaking to my skin. But if we wait a day or two, the rain may go away.
Look,
And we don't
when I
need
hear
a
this,
window on such
I
a
think
sunny
Carmen
day.
Miranda with the bananas on her head and that fruit.
Mañana,
Mañana is good enough for me.
Oba, oba, mañana, mañana.
Hey, wait a second. That's not. That's
Mañana is good enough for me.
The Deism unofficial song, and I forgot who's the faith based on. What's that guy's name? Lou what or
Lou Monte?
no that movie. Lebowski, the great was it? What's
Oh,
it
the
called?
Big Lebowski?
Yeah, I mean their religion is actually written based on the movie, loosely written on it. It's actually a humanism type religion, which does not, probably doesn't believe in God as much, but as humanism. But it's quite interesting, And as I said, and I do actually like their unofficial song. It's a nice song. But anyway, that just gave us a little break from our constant talking, since we are not taking any calls today. And the reason we're not taking any calls today, because there's nobody out there this time that listens to us live that actually has a phone. Right now our listeners are probably all over the world. We have listeners in England. We have some in Brazil.
I thought the good-looking lady next door calls you up.
No, she knocks on my door.
Like those two ladies on Monday, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever fix your mirror?
Yeah, I had it finally fixed today. $100 it cost me.
That's cheap already.
It is, because I got aftermarket product.
What did you do? You didn't go to a Ford dealer then, because they'll...
No. I went to the garage around the corner from me, and around the corner from work. And at first, it looked like we'd only have to replace the glass, or it would be only like $50. But as it turned out, there was a light that wasn't working also, so we had to replace the whole mirror. And that was $100 plus tax, which I thought was pretty reasonable.
And yeah, I know, except that it's another expense that
I don't have the money for.
exactly.
And lately donations have been very low to the esoteric church, so we're really running
Well,
on.
not to mention, the tips from the coffee club, are non-existent.
Since we're not involved with the coffee club, we're broadcasting here. We can't wait on tables and make our tips, So
I realize that,
we're just losing all around here. Anyway, and by the way,
we are having fun.
We are having fun. If anybody does decide to make a donation, we are definitely not non-profit. Even though we don't make a profit, we're not designated as a non-profit, and we don't have an address for you to send a donation. So if anybody actually does want to make a donation to a good cause, such as Red Cross, some kind of cancer foundation, or anything else that helps mankind. We look nothing for we want nothing for our services to you except for you to enjoy us.
That's right. What we would like, however, we would like feedback.
And
okay, please, we would like feedback.
Today I will make one exception. I will accept emails. You can email us at
Dr. Mark or Felix at ccradionetwork.com.
Or just remember...
Not all together, mind you.
Yeah. It's actually not even Dr. Mark, just Mark, M-A-R-C.
I mean, it's not Dr. Mark.
No, your email's not Dr. Mark.
That's true. It's just Mark. I don't stand on ceremonies just the way Felix doesn't brag until recently about his being an esoteric minister.
Or a rabbi. What? No, not me. Forget it. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys was, again, remind you, Monday we're going to have a new phone number to call us at.
That's right. It's going to be 646-595-3275, and if I ask Felix to repeat it without showing him the number, he has to think real hard.
And I won't remember it anyway. I was ready to look.
You looked. I know.
I remember the area code 646.
Well, that's a good thing.
And the other thing is I want to tell you how to tune into us from now on. All you have to do is go onto our website, www.ccradionetwork.com, and press listen now. That will either give us our live broadcast if we're broadcasting live at the time, or you could listen to one of our podcasts. So but the more important thing is listen. We need listeners. We need people following us. We hope to be broadcasting on other venues shortly. As they happen, we will tell you about them. But right now, just listen. As I said, we were going to cut the show short, and obviously Dr. Mark can't say, well, looks like we're not getting any phone calls today because we're not accepting any phone calls today. As I said, our numbers right now...
Well, how long have we been on the air now?
27 minutes and 11 seconds.
Well, we just have a few more minutes to the 30 minutes that we really gave ourselves.
And I think we enjoyed it. We let you know how we feel about things.
Just remember, for our first-time listeners out there, I know there's at least one who is about to go down to Florida for the season, but we do like to get phone calls contradicting the things that we say so that we can have a meaningful discussion. I know this person is a little to the right of center. Sometimes I think a little bit more to the right of center. Okay? We generally discuss these things over coffee twice a week during the winter time. I won't mention any names, but if this person bothers to listen to the podcast tomorrow, he will know who he is, and I did promise that I would make some sort of mention of him. And I would also like to wish my friend Joel down in Florida and his wife Janet. It's her stepson and stepdaughter-in-law. A mazel tov on the pregnancy of his Joel's son's wife. I believe she's due in April or May. So we're all keeping our fingers crossed, and we hope that everything works out well. And I might add, my friend George is doing well with his prostate cancer treatments. He's got another month to go. So I'm giving everybody a plug here. And my friend Ira likes to drive Miss Daisy, or Miss Rita as he likes to say, all over the place. So I think that just about covers most of my friends. Of course, Felix is here with me all the time, so I don't have to mention anything. Felix knows. But that's about it.
And also, I'd like to just wish my daughter a happy birthday. It's going to be
today?
In 2 days. In 2 days. In 2 days will be her birthday. And my son had his birthday on the 9th. And my brother had his birthday on the 21st. So, everybody, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Okay, that's enough of my cracking
Yes,
voice.
really.
Anyway, so that's what we want to tell you. And you know what I say after I hear that music? That wasn't great. But anyway, within the next couple of minutes, we are gonna cut off this broadcast, and I hope you enjoyed our little, how should I put it, mini podcast. How's that? Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think that just about sums it up.
You know, in the beginning when we first started this, doing this on another show, sponsored by somebody else, we had trouble getting to a half an hour. That was a time limit.
I remember that.
And we had
and you recall how I didn't want to go on the air?
Yeah, you
I was only lending moral support, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And now, as for those of you who are longtime listeners of our show, you know I've said it many times, now you can't shut me up.
That is true.
Just put a microphone in front of my face.
Again, but I just remember about 30 minutes, we were just struggling to get to anywhere near 30 minutes.
That's why we used to play as much music as we could.
Yeah.
You know?
And now 30 minutes is a mini broadcast for us. We normally broadcast for an
Close
hour.
To an hour.
An hour, quite
a few times a little bit more.
More, and we're not restricted anymore as to the length of our podcasts. Well, maybe we're restricted 2 hours, but we don't plan to go that far. I think I'm beginning to yawn. I'm getting tired, ladies and gentlemen. It's
and you haven't even touched the bottle today.
And I haven't even. I haven't hit the bottle yet. I just hit the bottle. Ooh, my knuckles are sore from hitting that. You know, everybody thinks hitting the bottle means drinking. When I say hit the bottle, most of the time I mean literally hit
the bottle. But we are hitting rock bottom right now.
Yeah,
I
we
think.
are.
So it's about time we said goodbye.
And besides, I have a feeling that it's time to walk the dogs.
No, I'm letting them out. I told you, until you feed them, I'm not going anywhere near them.
I told you I had no food.
Now you tell me.
Well, before I mentioned that, you said... That
yeah, my hand.
Exactly.
Exactly,
That's
all
what
right.
you're talking about. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Felix.
And Dr. Mark wishing you a wonderful weekend. And remember, Monday,
9
o'clock.
Tune in, 9 o'clock. Remember, it's going to be www.ccradionetwork.com, and then press listen now. And our phone number is going to be 646
595 3275. And we promise we will try to be a bit more prepared.
You have a good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.
And God bless. Thank you.
God bless.